Not really. Discipline. Be consistent and make sure that love is the motivation. Correct. Proverbs 19:18 says, chasten your son while there is hope. And do not set your heart on his destruction. Proverbs 22:15, foolishness is bound up in the heart of a child, and Dr. Spock's book will drive it far from him. That is not what the Word said. The Word said the rod of correction will drive it far from him. Proverbs 23:13, do not withhold correction from a child, for if you beat him with a rod, he won't die. Now, we're talking about, there is a difference. I will say this, there is absolutely no excuse for abuse in any form. We're not talking about that. We're talking about a swat with a ping pong paddle or something like that that is appropriate to age, height, weight, and all those kinds of things. We're not talking about, let's just go pull a log off the tree and beat them briskly about the head and ears. We're not talking about that. There is never any excuse for abuse. And again, we're talking about if you're angry, you are not ready to discipline. Because discipline is not about anger and it's not about revenge. It is about correction that is needed. And the motivation is because we love them. I don't want to see them. You see, there are a lot of people who have a problem with authority that have ended up in prison, and their problem with authority started at home when they were 2 years old because there was no correction offered. Now, there's a whole kinds of things we could talk about there. So duty to discipline and to bring correction. All right, once again, write this reference down. Hebrews chapter 12, verse 6 through 11, we're told that God, as our Father, chastens us as His children. And we're told in verse 6 that the reason that He does this, Hebrews 12:6, the reason that God chastens us as His children when we're off course is because He loves us. He wants us to do right and to be blessed. This is also has to be our motivation for everything that we do as parents. Let me give you an example. Mom and Dad are watching a football game. I threw Mom in there just to make Dad not feel so bad. Watch a football game. Kids running around making a lot of noise. Dad says, all right, stop it. Be quiet over there. Kids, goofing around with a table, shaking the lamp table. Stop it. You're going to knock the lamp off. Quit. Be quiet. I'm trying to watch the game. Ooh, oh, man, almost got that pass. And then next thing you know, kids, feet's hung up in the lamp cord. Stop it. I already told you that. Stop it. And the next thing you know, kid trips, falls down, drags the lamp cord, drags the lamp off the table. Okay, now. So now Dad's mad. He's up out of the recliner. He's over there, and he's going to spank the kid. But the problem with that is that love, the motivation of love would say, okay, look, I'm going to try to head this off before it gets that way. A lot of times we let things go too long, and then we discipline incorrectly, or we don't do it in love. So you got to be engaged. You got to be paying attention. All right, love is a motivation. All right, next, parents have a duty to nurture. Everybody say nurture. Duty to nurture. We must encourage and not frustrate our kids. Watch this. Ephesians chapter 6, verse 4 says, and you, fathers, do not provoke your children to wrath, but bring them up in the training and the admonition of the Lord. I'm going to throw this one in too, Colossians 3:21. Fathers, do not provoke your children, lest they become discouraged. Now, what does this word mean? Provoke. Do not provoke your children to wrath. Here's the thing. With discipline, let me say this. If you have not built a bridge of relationship with your child, of consistent expression of love to them and encouragement to them and interest in them, then your discipline will be ineffective. They may take it because they're smaller than you and they have to. But sometimes, in some cases, the only time a kid hears mom and dad coming down the hall is when they're in trouble. How many of you have ever had a boss you did not enjoy working for? Have you ever had a boss that every word they ever spoke to you was negative and critical, even though you knew that there were some areas of your job you had done very well? Did you want to see that person coming? No, you did not. Why? Because you knew before they ever came around the corner, you knew, here it comes again. It's going to be negative. It's going to be something I didn't do. It's going to be, and you got frustrated. Sometimes, probably legitimately. If all you say to your child, or if all your teenager ever hears you say is negative and criticism, they're not going to want to see you coming either. That's why I say you've got to build a bridge of love, consistent encouragement. Kids need encouragement. It's like oxygen to our soul when someone encourages us. You've all got people you like to be around because they encourage you, and you've all got people at work, could even be at church. I'm probably not here, but some other time when you went to church somewhere, there's people that you see, and you see them coming around the corner, and you go, why? Because they just suck the life out of you, drain you. Why? We all want somebody to encourage us, and our kids need encouragement. They need for us to see the things that they do. Do not exasperate your children. Here's how you can exasperate your kids. Here's how you can cause them to be frustrated. Only criticize and never encourage. That will cause them to be exasperated and frustrated. And set the bar so high for them that nothing will ever be good enough. And you will exasperate them, and you will discourage them. And that is not what we want to do as parents. So these are parents. These are patterns that God gives to us. These are things that He shows to us through His own work in our own life. So we have a duty to nurture our kids. Psalms 103 verse 13 says, "As a father pities his children, so the Lord pities those who fear Him." Proverbs 3:12, for whom the Lord loves, He corrects, just as a father the son in whom He delights. So parents have a duty to nurture. Next, parents have a duty to use their words to bless and to build up and not to destroy. Words can either wound or they can heal. You can use your words as seeds that will reap a harvest in the life of your children, or you can use them as bullets. About 7 years ago, I taught a lesson for the first time. I've repeated it a couple of times because it's very relevant. I taught a lesson called Now Playing at a Theater in You. We all have this movie screen in our mind. We all have memories that we relive from time to time. And I handed out blank cards and asked people to anonymously write down things that had been said to them as children that they still remembered, either good or bad. And with no names, it was anonymous, and we handed the cards back in. And I was not shocked because I anticipated some of the stuff. I read things that a card that said, "My mother said to me when I was 4 years old, 'You will never amount to anything.'" That's a bullet. It's not a seed. "My father said to me, 'You're so stupid, why can't you do anything right?' And the pièce de résistance, how do you pronounce that, was on a card, 'I wish you had never been born.'" Now let me tell you something. There's a rhyme that says, "Sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me." That is a lie.